Hi everyone, it's Tasha. Hello out there everyone, hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to share with you a few Christmas DIY ideas, so let's dive right in. The first thing I want to talk about are Christmas pillows. So I don't know about you, but for me, I have a hard time with Christmas pillows because ones like this can seem kind of over the top for me. They don't really go with my style, and I lean more towards this palette with these really simple ones. But right now I don't have any Christmas pillows at all, so I wanted to kind of branch out for myself a little bit. I found this red velvet pillow in my linen closet that I kind of forgot that I had, and I also found this kind of boucle, like bumpy kind of yarn. I'm not exactly sure what kind of yarn exactly it is, but I picked it up at a thrift store. So my thought is that I could actually take this and make a sort of simple minimalist sort of wreath shape on this pillow and then add like a little bow on the top of it, and I'm just gonna see how that looks. So I actually decided to just attach this with some hot glue, and I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I did a little test spot and it actually comes right back off. I'm just attaching this with little dots around like every few inches, and like I said, they pull right back off, so I didn't like ruin the pillow, but I did get the pillow at Goodwill anyway. But I think that this looks just right for me. It's not too over the top, but it's also definitely Christmassy and kind of elegant looking, I think. And another idea that I had was I have this sort of ribbon slash garland roll that I had for a shower that I threw for someone a while back. And I thought, well, if I used that and made a wreath shape, it would look more realistic. So I'm just going to try it that way as well on a different pillow and see how that looks. So here you can see some of the hot gluing that I'm actually doing. I'm using the tiniest dots of glue ever. So obviously these pillows aren't meant to like last for years and years. This is just a kind of hodgepodge craft that I'm doing just basically for this season. And I attached this velvet bow at the top of this one, and I think that this actually looks really cute. I did the bow at the top, and then I also tried it at the bottom just to see how that would look, and I think that both look really nice. Another thing that you can try if it's up your alley would be to spell out a word. I spelled out Mary here, and I just think that it's kind of cute, so you could give that a try as well if you wanted to try this project. I also wanted to share with you a piece that I brought home with me this Thanksgiving. This was passed down to my mother, and it has been hanging out at my brother's house where we went for Thanksgiving. And they graciously decided to give it to me to bring to our house. I have placed it on my hutch. I think it's so beautiful, and according to what my mom was saying about how many great grandmothers back it goes, I think it's gotta be from like the late 1800s. It's definitely an antique. So for styling, I'm just gonna put a pillar candle in the middle of this that I don't plan to burn while it's sitting in there like that, and some pine cones. I got lots of pine cones from a kind neighbor who gathered some up for me from her yard, and so I'm putting those all around this. And I just want to encourage you, if you have a dough bowl, whether it's an antique one or whether it's one you got from TJ Maxx or whatever, you might try filling it with pine cones, because I think that this looks so classy and so beautiful for the winter season. Now moving right along, the next thing that I want to share with you is I was thrift shopping a couple weeks ago and I came across these red wicker bells. I thought these were really cool shape. They were only 49 cents a piece, so I got myself a few, and I'm thinking that I could do something with these. I immediately thought about those McGee Co bells that were so popular this year. Very expensive. I think they're sold out now after Black Friday and everything, but I thought, well, I could give these 49 cents bells some sort of makeover so that they're kind of reminiscent of the McGee Co ones. They were in really good shape. The only thing I noticed was that some of them had some glue on the top, but fortunately the glue came right off with me just tugging on it. Yay for glue. So my thought is I'm just going to give these a solid coat of brown to start off with. I want to make sure that no red shows through on whatever finish I end up going with. So I'm doing the inside first. Of course, I forgot to put my gloves on at first because I'm me. So I went back for gloves so I didn't ruin my hands for the day. And I'm just giving these a solid coat. First the inside so that the overspray that might go through the holes onto the front will be covered up by my solid coat on the outside. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's great for you, but what are the odds of me actually finding some Wicker Bells at my thrift store? Well, maybe not, but take a look at these baskets because these baskets are the exact type that I see all the time in the thrift store. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking that if you just flip these upside down, these look very passably like bells. So I think that you could probably go to your thrift store anytime and find probably at least one basket that would make a suitable bell for this project. So I finished painting these up with a solid coat of brown spray paint, and you could leave them just a solid darker brown if that works for you. I'm going to try and get mine to a lighter color that's a little more like the McGee Co ones. So I mixed up some kind of beige paint at home. I used some cream, a little bit of yellow that I had, and a little bit of brown. And you can see the difference here. So any shade that you like would be wonderful for you. I had these craft rings in my craft drawer, and I saw that some of the McGee Co ones had really big handles like this, so I thought, well, maybe I could wrap this with some sort of twine, and that might be an interesting look against the bell. So I tried it, but then when I actually held it up to the finished bell, I kind of didn't like it. It looks a little too coastal or maybe farmhousey for my style, so I decided instead to just take that right back off and paint the rings a solid color, the same color that I painted the bells. So that way it'll be just one monochrome look. I think that will look more modern and more what I'm looking for. I also tried a bell in black, and I didn't see any like this online or anything, but I just thought, hey, it might look neat, and I think that it does. So I tried the ring with that as well, but I ended up thinking that just the plain ribbon by itself kind of looked just as nice on this, so I went with that instead. And now I have some trendier, cuter looking Christmas bells that I can style. So the McGee Co ones come in sets that are staggered in size, which is nice because you can place them right beside each other and they're different heights. So to achieve a similar effect, I just put one of mine always up on a pedestal or something a little higher than the other one when I was using two. And you can also just sit one by itself. It looks really pretty by itself as well. And the next thing I want to talk about today is craft paper and Christmas wrapping. So I got this 60-foot roll of craft paper for only 25 cents from a yard sale. Great deal. And I just wanted to point out that even if you don't like the print on the front of a roll of craft paper, the back is always blank. So you could just turn it the other way and wrap and have that solid, little more trendy look if that's what you want. I'm using this plaid one that I picked up a couple of years ago. Another thing that you can do with gift wrap is if you have a kid or someone's kid that you know has an easel like this where the craft paper goes on the top, you can use rolls of gift wrap, cut them to size to fit that roll, and just use them so that the back side is forward. It makes great paper for little ones to paint and color on. Trust me, I do this all the time. So back to the craft paper for gift wrapping, I just wanted to talk about stamping because many people have a little stamp collection. I know I have a few. This is the only Christmas one I actually have right now, so I'm just using it to do some Christmas trees across the front of this. I like to write names directly on the paper when I'm using craft paper. I also have this vintage flower set, and I thought I might try that even though it's not super Christmassy, but just to achieve kind of like a vintage wallpaper look almost across this package, I think that this is really cute and also fun for me to sit there and do. So I'm going to mix and match these with different stamps. I found 3 sets of stamps on Amazon that I thought were so pretty. I have 2 of them in my cart to buy and have on hand for next year. I'll link those in the description box, but I thought these were all pretty stunning. to be used for this purpose. I also had on hand in my craft drawer some fluffy kind of yarn in brown and green, so I'm just going to tie all my packages up, mix matching the green and the brown, mix matching the stamped and the unstamped. I hope that something from the video today has inspired you, whether it was one of the pillows or the bells or the stamping or something, and that you can go out to the thrift store, get crafty, and have some fun. If you'd like to see more of my videos in your feed, hit subscribe, hit like for me, leave a comment, and I will see you guys at the next video.